Where is God's love? Every biblical passage that mentions predestination election will be searched in vain for any reference to anyone being predestined to damnation. How then does the Calvinist support such a doctrine? By implication only. Those whom God did not elect have been just as surely damned by his eternal decree. Calvin said, "It is childish to deny this, since there could be no election without its opposite reprobation." Bertner declares, "The doctrine of absolute predestination, of course, logically holds that some are foreordained to death, as truly as others are foreordained to life. The very terms elect and election imply the terms non-elect and reprobation. We believe that from all eternity God has intended to leave some of Adam's posterity in their sins, and that the decisive factor is to be found only in God's will." What a misrepresentation of God! We search the writings of Calvinists in vain to find some hint of regret or sympathy for those hopelessly doomed by God's eternal decree. How could the God who damns multitudes then profess his love for them, or regret his sovereign decrees? Love and compassion. Where shall we find these greatest of all virtues in Calvinism? Calvinists propose various theories to make it seem that God really does love those he predestines to eternal torment. One of the most callous theories comes from Michael Horton in a book with a foreword by J.I. Packer. He argues, "This view intensifies God's love by limiting it only to those who believe. That sure beats the indiscriminate general benevolence we seem to be hearing much about today. For God to love all mankind would be a despicable, indiscriminate general benevolence? Limiting God's love to a select group intensifies God's love? What madness!" As noted, John Piper and his pastoral staff published a booklet titled Tulip: What We Believe About the 5 Points of Calvinism. Like Calvin's Institutes, it glorifies God's sovereignty, as we have already seen, but nowhere in its pages is there even a mention of God's love for sinners. John Calvin is presented as the famous theologian and pastor of Geneva, with not a word about the floggings, imprisonments, tortures, banishments, and burnings at the stake that he encouraged there. Piper also praises Augustine, but without a hint that he was the father of modern Roman Catholicism, and held to numerous doctrines that evangelicals find repugnant. Is it honest to withhold vital facts in order to promote Calvinism? 5 times in the New Testament, Christ commands us, "Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself," Matthew chapter 19, verse 19, etc. Paul twice, and James once, reiterate this command, that one must love one's neighbor as oneself. Romans chapter 13, verse 9, Galatians chapter 5, verse 14, James chapter 2, verse 8. Christ makes it clear that everyone who is in need is one's neighbor. Luke chapter 10, verses 29 to 37. Surely none are in greater need than the lost. Yet Calvinism tells us that God, who is love, and who so loved the world and sent his Son, that the world through him might be saved, John chapter 3, verse 17, even though he could save all, damns billions for his good pleasure, and to prove his justice. Aghast at such doctrine, one can only repeat in astonishment, "What love is this?"